The Biden EPA has denied its first small refinery exemption for blending obligations. It's just one request, but it is a small victory for the biofuels industry. President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Jeff Cooper, joins us now with the very latest. Jeff, good to have you on board today. So what was your reaction to this SRE rejection?
Well, thanks for having me this morning, Tammy. And we see it as a very positive signal out of the EPA. It's something we've been waiting on for really a year now. And I'm sure you remember that between 2016 and 2020, the Trump administration gave out almost 90 of these renewable fuel blending exemptions to oil refineries. Those exemptions effectively let these refiners ignore their obligation to blend biofuels like ethanol. And because of all those exemptions, we lost about 4 billion gallons of required blending under the renewable fuel standard. And that was, of course, devastating to our markets. So when the Trump administration left town and President Biden took office, there were still 60 of these petitions for additional exemptions that were left pending. And so they've sort of been open all year long. They've been pending all year long. And EPA finally decided one of those pending petitions last week. They rejected it, as you mentioned. They said the refiner that was asking for the exemption wasn't able to justify that one was needed. So we do see that as a good sign, and hopefully it means that EPA is close to deciding the remainder of all those pending applications, and we hope that those are also rejected because we don't think any of these exemptions are warranted under the law.
Right. So you mentioned what there are about 60 exemption petitions out there right now?
Yeah, that's right. So there are still 64 of these petitions pending. And again, we are hopeful that EPA is going to act on those. And again, we hope they reject most, if not all, of those petitions, especially in the wake of some fairly recent court decisions that established clearer, more explicit criteria for EPA when it decides these petitions. We don't think the refiners really have justified the need for escaping their renewable fuel blending obligations, and you know, we think it's time that they comply with the law.
Exactly. So do you think this rejection could set the tone for SREs moving forward?
Well, we really do, and Friday's rejection of this SRE is consistent with what the new leadership at EPA has been saying really all year long. It's consistent with President Biden's promises. You might remember when he was campaigning, he called all of these SRE waivers a gigantic mistake. Those were his words. And so it is reassuring to see that President Biden and his administration are remaining consistent, at least so far, with this one petition in making good on the promise to really rein this SRE program in. So we hope that continues, and we hope very soon to be hearing more rejections of these pending petitions.
All right, we'll keep our eye on that. That's President and CEO of the Renewable Fuels Association, Jeff Cooper. Thank you so much for your time today.